All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into an idea that's all about changing how we see the ocean. We're going to shift our thinking from just consumption to, a real connection. We're exploring a simple but really powerful philosophy. Take only what you need. So, the source material for today's Explainer kicks things off with this statement. Just let that sink in. The ocean is not a resource, it is a relationship. It's not just some big blue supermarket with things for us to take. It's a living, breathing system that we are all a part of. And that one idea, it's going to be our guide for everything we talk about. And that really brings us to the core question, doesn't it? If we accept that the ocean is a relationship, then how do we act in a way that honors it? How does something as ancient as fishing become, well, an act of care, an act of stewardship? Okay, let's get into it. To answer that, we first got to understand the why. Why is this shift in thinking so incredibly important, especially right now? It really boils down to two completely different ways of seeing things. On one hand, you've got the ocean as a supermarket. You just go in, you take what you want, you consume. On the other hand, you can see it as a family, this complex, interconnected web that needs our care, our stewardship. And let's be honest, for way too long, we've treated the sea like that supermarket, and it is definitely starting to show the strain. And when that relationship breaks down, the consequences are, well, they're a devastating chain reaction. We're not just talking about fish stocks getting smaller. When those top predators disappear, the whole system starts to fall apart. Suddenly, coral reefs are overrun by algae. You see seabirds that can't find enough food for their chicks. And for coastal communities, it's not just about losing income. They can lose their entire identity. Okay, so if the why is all about protecting this incredible living system, then the how comes down to a single guiding principle: restraint. So let's explore what that actually looks like in practice. Now, this isn't some hard and fast rule. It's a whole mindset. Take only what you need is something you actively practice. It means you're paying attention. You're observing the signs. Maybe the fish are getting smaller. Maybe the catches are fewer. And you respond with wisdom, not just habit. The whole point is to leave enough behind so the system can bounce back, so it can thrive. This really forces us to look at our own motivations, right? Are you out there fishing to put food on the table tonight? That's need. It comes from a place of hunger and care. Or are you fishing out of habit? For pride? To fill a freezer just because you can? The source calls this greed. One is about balance and responsibility. The other is careless, and it causes real long-term damage. It's a powerful thing to think about. And this whole philosophy, it's not new, not by a long shot. Traditional communities have been living this way for centuries. Their fishing wasn't primitive. It was deeply, deeply intelligent. It was guided by the seasons, the tides, and this incredible respect for the natural rhythms of the world. There's so much wisdom there that we can learn from. All right, so we've got the why, the reason for the shift. We've got the how, the philosophy of restraint. Now let's get into the what, the actual practical things you can do to put this into motion. It starts with your gear. Your choice of tools is really your first act of respect. Forget those huge industrial nets for a second. Simple tools like hand lines, rods, or a spear, they give you incredible control. They allow you to be so selective, to avoid catching things you don't intend to, like sea turtles or small sharks. You feel everything, and you get to make a conscious choice about every single fish. That simplicity, that's their superpower. So what do you keep and what goes back? Well, the guide is pretty simple. Eat lower on the food chain. We're talking about things like sardines, mullet, anchovies. They're super abundant, they grow fast, and their populations can handle a bit of fishing pressure. But the big guys, the large predators like mature groupers, sharks, or barracuda, those are the ones to release. They're the ones that keep the whole ecosystem in check, and they reproduce really slowly, so taking them out has a huge impact. And this brings us to just a beautiful idea from our source. Leave the giants for the sea. A really big fish isn't a trophy to hang on the wall. Think of it as a teacher, a survivor with amazing genes, a protector of its home. When you let that fish go, you're not losing a prize. You're investing in the future of the ocean itself. And that respect, it doesn't stop at the water's edge.
It follows you right into the kitchen. If you take a life from the sea, the idea is to honor that life by using every single part of it. Traditional practices nail this. Fish heads and bones make an incredible broth. You can pan-fry the skins until they're crispy and delicious. It's not just about avoiding waste. It's a genuine act of gratitude.
Now, individual actions are powerful, for sure. But this philosophy truly takes flight when it becomes a community effort. Your role is actually way bigger than just what's on the end of your own line.
So this is where local fishers become the true guardians of their waters. Think about it. Sharing a big catch instead of everyone trying to get their own, that immediately reduces the overall pressure on the fish population. Your own actions, done responsibly, set a new standard for everyone else, especially the next generation. And you become the eyes and ears out there. Reporting what you see, whether it's a rare species or something illegal, is actively protecting the very system you depend on.
When you boil all of this down, it really comes to this simple, powerful idea. Every time we interact with the ocean, we're making a choice. We can be a source of damage, or we can be a source of care. Our presence can be a gift, not a wound. That's the choice.
So I'll leave you with this last thought from today's explainer. It doesn't matter if you fish every day or if you live 1,000 miles from the coast. We all have a relationship with the ocean. So what's one small, conscious choice you can make to honor that relationship, starting today? Thanks for joining me.